Hello and welcome back to the podcast. It's been locked in a bunk of the past 2 years, so help. Welcome back to another episode of Love, Death and Movies podcast, the internet's number one film and breakdown and review show. The show that crushes watch lists week after week. Every couple of months is a different genre. Every week in that couple of months is a different film in that genre. So follow us on everything. Join us the ride. Let's watch some movies. Not bad for just waking up. With me each and every week. Ash vs. Movies, how are you?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. Doing pretty good. How are you, sir?
Good. Yeah, I'm pretty good. We're doing an early morning recording for me. In your barbaric land across the world, it is later afternoon, so that's pretty good. But Ash,
Yeah, I'm here on daylight savings day, so I lost an hour of sleep, and I'm here.
Wow, you're sacrificing so much.
I know.
Well done. Ash, how have you been? We haven't recorded for a couple of weeks, so what have you been up to?
Oh, just some really exciting stuff. Not really. Honestly, I'm doing okay. Had some minor setbacks with my recovery, so I'm kind of back in like a weird limbo. But we move on. That's life. Take it one step at a time. But yeah, just been reading still, watching stuff. I went back to work this past week, which was, I guess, nice just to have a change up in my routine. But I wouldn't say it was fun, but it wasn't horrible. But yeah, I'm having to stand all day, so it's a little bit like tough to stand and work. I don't know if you've ever done that, but it's you get more distracted. It's just harder to like lock in when you're standing for some reason. But yeah, otherwise just been hanging out, still watching The Pit, still watching Love Is Blind, and watching movies, trying to get caught up on the Oscars. I think I'm finally there. I've watched pretty much everything that I've wanted to watch.
Hamnet last night, right?
Yeah, I watched Hamnet, and I think I'm gonna just skip Frankenstein. I just keep feeling I can't find time to watch it, and I'm not like, it's not gripping me enough to want to watch it to like spend the 2.5 hours plus. Like if I need to, there's always a pause in there whenever you're watching it at home. So
It is long.
it's a long movie. And just for like one or two nominations, I just didn't feel like it was worth it. So I've watched all the big stuff. I feel like I definitely am here for Jessie Buckley for Best Actress, but I'm really hoping Michael B. Jordan gets Best Actor.
Really?
Sinners is my favorite of all of the movies.
I love that.
I know you want Timmy, but I'm just,
Hey, but I
yeah.
wouldn't be unhappy if Michael B got it. He's great.
He played two characters, and they were both like so different, and just so I just think that whole movie was just the most interesting, most unique film. But Weapons was still my favorite movie of last year, but I feel like of the nominations, I feel like Sinners is up there with just like, it just was something fresh and something different, which is just kind of where I feel like I'm liking movies these days. I just want something that shocks me or surprises me or, something along those lines. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
I remember when I first watched Weapons, and I came out of it being like, fuck, Ash is going to love this shit.
Yeah.
Because I love Weapons, but I think it's awesome. So
I was so happy when Amy Madigan won the SAG award. I watched it last weekend,
and
and
she'll win Best Actress? Or Best Supporting?
I think she could. I really think that she could. That category is not like, I watched Sentimental Value and I thought it was really good, but I don't know that like the supporting performances were good enough to beat her. And then as far as like with One Battle After Another and Sinners, maybe the one from Sinners, but I don't know. I feel like she's memorable. Like obviously she was
Very
nominated for a
memorable.
reason.
That's a good way to put it.
So I'd be happy if she won, definitely.
It's a very good way to put it.
But
Nice.
how was your week?
It's good, yeah. We haven't recorded in 2 weeks, so it was fun. What have I been doing? I went to a wedding, went away for a weekend, went to a wedding down the coast. Super Australian. We stayed in like a really glamorous, well, I stayed in a really glamorous tent. It had like a giant bed in it. It was literally like a hotel room, but it was a tent.
Yeah.
And right outside were like hundreds of kangaroos. And but the wedding was great. It was good fun. Good to get away from Sydney for a little bit. Came back, and I've been just reading heaps. I think last time recording, I was reading Red Rising.
Yeah.
Finished that. Impeccable book. Couldn't put it down. I'm so sucked into this world. Then I read Freida McFadden's short story Death Row. Death Row is all about this woman that's on death row. And it's only like 70 pages. Read it in like one sitting because I heard that this twist is like unreal. And I would just temper all expectations. It's something that like I would write in high school. Like the twist is not that great. But I love Frida, so like I'll always give her a go. Then I read The Butcher by Jennifer Hillier, which probably is my favorite book in recent memory. It's either that or Wild Dark Shore. Um, this is the greatest thriller I've ever read. Like, it is so good, disgusting, gross, but so like captivating at the same time. It's only like
Hmm.
350 pages or something like that. So I know you're going to read it. I can't wait to hear what you think about it, but please do read that. And then I'm halfway through The Cabin at the End of the World, which is based, this is what the movie Knock at the Cabin is based on, by Paul Tremblay. Um, it's fine. It's just like, I love the idea, and I wish that I
Hmm.
read this before I watched the movie, because like the whole tension right now of like, are they gonna, like, well, what are they gonna do to the family and stuff like that is still just like, it would still be lingering over your head. But in the movie, you're like, oh, they're actually not there to touch them at all. Which I like, so
Interesting.
that kind of does take away from it. But I will finish it so that when we record the podcast, I can kind of say what's doing in it, like what the differences are and stuff.
Right.
Um, but that's kind of it. Oh, Swans are back. Oh, Ash. Oh, Ash. Swans vs Carlton, first game. Okay. First half. This is the first game of the entire season. First half, everyone could agree, stinks. First half of that game was terrible. Both sides were just not playing well. Then Swans scored 12 goals in one quarter, which sounds like a lot to you because it is. Like, that is the highest that we've ever scored in history in one quarter.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
me and my brother sitting next to each other, just absolutely screaming at players. It was fucking electric. There was one moment where I was on TV with my brother doing pythons and stuff, because one of our stars was, where our seats like 2-3 rows from the field, and one of the stars like went up to the fence near us with the ball, and um, I sat back down, and then like 5 minutes later was like the in between quarter break. Looked at my phone, I had like 16 to 20 text messages, being like, I just saw you on the TV. So that's awesome, which is
Always.
good fun. But yeah, so
Is your player back, your boy, after his
which
injury?
one? Oh, Errol.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy. That was the guy that went
Okay.
up to the fence. Yeah, so last year, at the beginning of last year, he broke his ankle.
Hmm.
And he came back towards the end of last year, but now he looks like he's put on like, fuck, 5 to 10 kilos of muscle. I don't know what that is.
Jeez.
That's like a billion pounds in muscle. He's a short guy, and he's like, normally he's a runner, so he's normally thin, but now he's just got these giant arms. It's great. Love it. It's so good. I'm so happy Footy's back. But other than that, just been watching movies, specifically the movie they're talking about today, Ash, because we're keeping on along with closed setting cinema. We're doing one that I think we're both really looking forward to, with 10 Cloverfield Lane,
Hmm.
directed by Dan Trachtenberg. Sorry if I was mispronounced. Trachtenberg. Yeah.
Don't
Trachtenberg.
overthink it.
Yeah, I'm not overthinking. I'm overthinking the shit out of this. Released in 2016, budget of 15 million, which probably almost all went to John Goodman. Box office of 110 million dollars. So very much got its money back. So a quick synopsis is: a young woman is held in an underground bunker by a man who insists that a hostile event has left the surface of the earth uninhabitable. So Ash, what's your history with 10 Cloverfield Lane? What do you think about it?
Honestly, I've only seen it once before this rewatch when it came out. I don't believe it was in theaters. I think it was one of those ones that I discovered like on Netflix or something, a few months after it came out. It was different then. I felt like movies like came onto streaming much faster after theaters for some reason,
Yeah.
especially Netflix used to have a shit ton of movies. But yeah, I remember like just checking it out and watching it, and I remember because I loved Cloverfield,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, this is like connected to that, so let's watch it." Not really knowing anything about it. Like I wouldn't have seen a trailer or anything for it. And I remember thinking it was so different than I was expecting because you think sci-fi, but you don't expect this like thriller of like what might happen to this girl or this, other person that's there with them. Like you just don't really know what's going to happen. So I remember kind of being like on the edge of my seat watching it, just the unknown of where it was going. So rewatching it was really fun because I remembered the main general things, but I had kind of forgotten what unfolds in the second half, a lot of it. So it was actually kind of fun to rewatch it after 10 years. And I liked the performances. I really liked the three of them together. I don't even know the name of the younger guy, but
John
I think
Gallagher
that
Jr., I believe it is. I looked it up
okay.
last night because had the exact same thought.
Yeah, I think all of them play their roles like very well, like their specific types of tropes and characters that they were supposed to portray. I like the really like closed setting of his bunker. I like the set design of it. I don't know if that's like weird for this movie, but I actually
No, I
really
get it.
just enjoyed getting to see like the bunker up to like well the food store up to the kitchen and the way he has his bathroom in his room. It's just a very like creative way to do a set design of like a closed setting movie like this. But yeah, John
That's
Goodman's fantastic, obviously. He's kind of like I feel like the shining star as far as performances go.
absolutely. We're just sorry to butt in. John
Okay.
Gallagher Jr. plays the villain in Hush, the guy with the mask. That's him.
That's why he looked familiar. So
Yeah,
we just happened to do two movies with him in it.
that's hilarious.
This that's really funny. Okay, well I really like his character. He adds a nice like comedic element, but also like a gentle element. When you have
Mm.
this kind of like man you don't trust, you don't know what he's gonna do to this woman. He adds like a layer of like
Bit of
you feel like
safety.
he's got her best interest at heart.
Yeah, bit of safety. No, for
Well,
sure.
yeah, yeah, very interesting. And then the last 15, 20 minutes, just like nothing can prepare you for that. It's totally like off the wall, completely shocking. I think in Adam's review, he said that this is why women would trust the bear over a man, or in this case,
That's
a
good.
nuclear slash alien invasion. Like it just completely like goes in a totally different direction than you're expecting, which is really fun. It just feels like really fresh, I feel like, of a concept for this type of genre. So I really appreciate it for that.
Yeah, no, epic. Yeah, my review was this is what happens when middle-aged white guys don't go to therapy,
Yep.
um, which is very true. I love everything you said. Completely agree. I think I've only seen this once, maybe twice as well. I enjoy this movie. I think this movie's a lot of fun. I like this idea
Hmm.
of like expanding a universe where like you think about the first movie's a found footage alien film.
Yeah.
Like we'll
Like
make
through
this
and
a
through.
we'll make this like what if the like the world's going down and there's like a fucking conspiracy theorist that like kidnaps this woman and puts her in a bunker with
Yeah.
him, and it's like that whole idea of like is what he's saying real, because you see the pigs but that could easily be faked, but then you see the woman and you're like okay,
But that could also be something else. Like it
could
has
be.
you questioning it the whole time. Like, is he really? But then you even have unfolding towards that last, like third act where she finds the help and finds the idea that like he lied about the daughter. So you're just like, he's so deranged. Like maybe he would just kidnap someone and use that as a
Yeah,
reason to
you
keep
just
them to
never
build the
know.
trust. Yeah.
And like there was one moment that I didn't love, though we'll get to it of course, but when he's just like, all right guys, come into this room, I'm gonna open a barrel, this is acid that can destroy everything, and you're like, okay, glad we got that lying around. Like,
Well, it almost like yeah, it's like I get it, but at the same time, it was like that just feels like it's way too easy for him to just
yeah,
do what he wants whenever he wants. If he just has this thing that can literally kill somebody immediately. But at the
yeah,
same time, it was important for the plot. Like the guy had to go. There was no,
the guy had to go.
I didn't want him to, but there was no way the story was going to conclude with both of them getting out of
No,
there. So,
definitely not. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good
yeah.
fun. I thought, yeah, I agree with you, John Goodman. It's like one of those times where an actor just like flourishes in a genre that's not normally what he's normal to, you know?
Yeah, and not to say that Mary Elizabeth Winstead is not fantastic. I think that she is, but I just think that he has to do a lot of like outside of his comfort zone acting. You know what I mean? Like he's having to
For sure.
really like be this uneasy kind of unpredictable guy, and I feel like he just even down to like the way he moves his mouth and moves his like body, he's like really in the character.
Yeah.
Which I think is really why it's a standout for me. But I still think she's absolutely fantastic, which she always is in everything. So
Yeah, she's sick.
it's not surprising.
Nice. Well, let's get into it, Ash. In the opening scene, a woman named Michelle, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, is looking outside her window. She's on the phone with someone arguing. Michelle then packs a bunch of her belongings and leaves home. Michelle drives far from the city down to the rural area. Her fiance Ben, who do you know who's voicing Ben?
No.
It's the voice of Bradley Cooper,
Oh my God.
which is pretty funny. Calls her. She answers, but only lets him talk and say how sorry he is and that she shouldn't leave him just like that. You shouldn't leave him just like that. Michelle hangs up. Ben calls again, and Michelle takes her eyes off the road for a second when her car gets slammed in by a truck, causing her to roll into a ditch. I love this with the opening like text scroll. Everything goes silent. It's just like 20th Century Fox
Really
presents.
good
So
intro.
cool. Very, very cool. Michelle wakes up with a head wound in a small room with a needle in her arm that's hooked up to a drip. To her horror, she sees her leg is chained to a pipe. I don't know why the leg was chained to the pipe. Like it was.
Because she had an injury, and my guess is that he didn't want her to try to like abruptly get up while having an injury and also being hooked up to an IV.
So
That
you're,
was my
so
guess.
you're
But
on his side. That's what I'm getting.
no, absolutely
That's what
don't.
I'm
Don't
getting.
you
That's what I'm
dare.
getting of like who's the villain in this film. So that's
He
quite
clearly
funny.
didn't want her to leave, but it's not like even if she did get up and leave the room, he could have stopped her from leaving. So I
That's
don't
true.
think that that was specifically for that purpose. It was right next to her leg that was wrapped in like a
Like a
brace, like
yeah.
she had
All
injured her
right,
knee.
all right, all right. We're watching you, Ash. That's all I'm saying. We're watching. We're watching.
Okay,
She
wow.
grabs her drip pole and pulls her phone towards her to call for help. Unfortunately, there's no signal, of course. Someone comes downstairs, opens the door of the room. It's a man named Howard, played by John Goodman. He claims to have rescued Michelle from the car accident and is keeping her alive. Howard offers Michelle a pair of wooden crutches to help her remain mobile with her injury sustained from the car crash and tells her, quote, get good on those before leaving the room. Michelle sets about carving the tip of one of the crutches to sharpen it as a weapon to attack Howard with. The next time Howard shows up, Michelle tries to stab him with the sharpened crutch unsuccessfully, but Howard quickly grabs her and sedates her. When she comes to, Howard calmly explains to Michelle that there has been an attack on the surface and that the air is unbreathable. So he brought Michelle down to the bunker beneath his farm. Howard brings Michelle up to the airlock to see what's going on. Nothing appears unusual, but Michelle spots Howard's truck with red paint, and she recognizes it as the truck that hit her. It brings her up also to see the completely disfigured bodies of two pigs. What were the pigs' names again? Ma. It'll come to me. I'll look it up after.
Remember.
Yeah, from the bedroom, a clattering sound is heard from outside. Howard goes to yell at someone off screen. Michelle leaves the room and finds a younger man named Emmett, played by John Gallagher Jr. His arm is broken, and Howard tells Michelle that Emmett knocked over a shelf with a week's worth of food. Emmett appears more friendly than Howard. He explains that he willingly joined Howard in building the bunker. Emmett claims that he'd seen the attack occur, describing a red flash and running to get inside, which explains his broken arm. So, Ash, anything to kind of add there into the opening and the introduction of these characters?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just think that the first interaction with all of them, you really get like a sense of who they are
Yeah.
without like a lot of dialogue, which I think is really, I always really enjoy when movies are good at relaying who their characters are, like whether through body language or just actions without necessarily like dialogue or just even like down to Michelle, like immediately trying to come up with ideas of how she can get out of that situation. It almost reminded me of Fresh a little bit, like with Daisy Edgar Jones, like how she like gets creative about how she's gonna get out of her situation. It was kind of that type of thing, like that survivalist mode of like, okay, let's take this pole. Okay, I can use this to get my phone over here. I can, use this to shave the wood to try to like make a weapon. Like she doesn't even hesitate. She just goes straight into fight or flight, which I think makes her like a really badass character. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. And then yeah, I like Emmett. I think he's like a fun presence, balancing out the other two, who obviously have like there's like a trust issue going on there, kind of back and forth, especially from her perspective, obviously,
Mm.
which is totally valid. You would definitely not be trustworthy in that situation at all. But yeah, I just like how they kind of how it all unfolds, but it takes its time.
Yeah.
Like the first 45 minutes of this movie is really just kind of slowly feeding this information to her and her kind of figuring out if she's going to trust it or if she's going to get creative to find a way to try to get out, which obviously that's the route she takes. But the first half really is just that. It's like a little bit of a cat and mouse game, but like very slowly, with Emmett kind of like leaning towards trying to help her once she gives the information, especially about the daughter. So yeah, I just think it's a really really well done characters for the kind of film that it is. This could have easily been kind of like shitty writing and like still been fun, but I feel like they actually took the time to write interesting characters and get decent actors who could, portray them well.
This movie could have been terrible, easily.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point, Ash. Howard makes Michelle and Emmett join him for dinner like a family. Michelle engages in pleasant conversation with Emmett that appears sort of flirty, causing Howard to angrily respond. Do we think that does he see her as like a daughter? He does, because he never calls her a woman, he calls her a girl and like a little princess and stuff.
See, I had a hard time with that this second watch. I was like trying to figure it out because that's how it appears. But then when you find out that he lies about his daughter, and then you find out about the other girl who is in the picture wearing the same outfit, same shirt, and obviously like tried to get out and like get help. I don't know. I don't think it's like I
It's a
don't think
weird
he's
one.
trying to like make this person like his woman, but I also don't know what void he's trying to fill. It definitely feels more like a weird kind of creepy father thing because even like they play that game, he's like Michelle and he's like girl.
Yeah.
Like he won't call her a
Princess.
woman. Or,
Yeah,
yeah, like
that's what I
he
mean, yeah.
definitely he has a weird like obviously mental issue going on when it comes to his daughter, but I just don't really quite know how we're supposed to take it because was he getting jealous of Emmett because he wouldn't want his daughter flirting with anyone?
That's
Or
what
was he
I
getting
kind of
jealous
got.
because he
That's why I
wants her
kind
all
of
to
saw it.
himself, you
Yeah.
know?
It's a weird one. I like how they don't fully explain it as well. It's
Yeah,
just
it
like,
doesn't really
there's
need to be
something off.
explained. I think that's yeah.
Exactly. He warns the two of them not to behave like that. When he's not looking, Michelle grabs his keys. A rumble occurs overhead, distracting everyone, but giving Michelle a chance to smash a beer bottle or a bottle over Howard's head. She runs out. She runs out towards the airlock, tries to get out. Michelle stands in. Oh, sorry, there's a car just revved outside. Michelle stands in the airlock between the outside and the inside as Howard begs her not to go outside. Sorry. A car arrives and a middle-aged woman approaches, pleads to let her to be let inside, but her skin is clearly deformed from an infection. Howard urges Michelle not to let this woman in. The woman grows agitated and starts banging her head on the glass of the door. Now fearing that Howard may be right with some sort of chemical weapons attack, Michelle begins to listen to him. He apologizes for his previous behavior and admits to hitting her car. He then tells Michelle to stitch up the wound on his head from the broken bottle. Like the reason why he hit the car is like because he said that he saw this attack happening and he was trying to get home really quickly and he was just reckless. We'll see. Over the next several days, the trio become friendlier with each other and start working together like a real family in the underground bunker. Howard lets Michelle borrow clothes, belonging to his daughter Megan, whom he lost. He shows Michelle a picture of Megan. Michelle and Emmett also bond, and Emmett is discussing how he had the chance to play sports for a university, but he skipped the chance to leave town because he was afraid. Michelle recounts a time that she saw a little girl being abused by her dad at a hardware store, and she felt bad for walking away and doing nothing, especially considering her own troublesome childhood. One day, the air filtration system goes down, and only Michelle is small enough to fit through the vents and go to the filtration room. She resets the unit, but notices a ladder leading to the outside world just beneath the window. On the window, the word "help" is scratched out, with the L and the P having traces of blood on it. On the floor, Michelle finds two bloody earrings, and she recognizes it from the picture of Megan. She shows the picture to Emmett, who says that the girl in the picture is actually a girl from his high school named Brittany, and she went missing a while back. The two realize that Howard is a threat, and they need to get out of there. Michelle and Emmett steal Howard's tools and start constructing a makeshift biohazard suit, which I love this, and gas mask. I love the look of this suit. I think it looks sick. Howard discovers the stolen tools and brings out a vat of pyloric acid to dissolve them. Howard demands to know why they were trying to take his gun. Emmett speaks up and says that he did it so that Michelle could respect him the way that she respects Howard. Howard forgives Emmett and then shoots him in the head. Ash, anything to kind of add in these parts?
Oh no, I have nothing to say. I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you consider this like a thriller, I feel like I would consider the airlock part, like in her discovering that help and earrings, kind of like the twist, I guess, if you want to call it. Like, that's kind of where things change because she kind of started to build some trust with him. Like, okay, maybe he did bring me here to actually like make sure I'm safe from this thing, or even if I don't believe in that thing, maybe he had some decent intentions of like caring, for me. But I feel like that moment is where she fully loses her complete trust, obviously, because he lied um, about the daughter, which she learns. But then just the fact that there's somebody who was trying to escape, clearly something's wrong. So I think that's kind of like a big, like, pivotal moment in the movie, and like kind of things intensify a little bit. I love that she drops the hint about wanting to be a fashion designer, and then like they find a way to use that,
Yeah, I love
just
that.
down to like her designing this
I knew you must have
suit.
been good with those stitchers.
Yeah. I just think that's just such a fun little aspect of it, that she gets to like not only try to escape and use it, she gets to make it
Yeah.
out of the shower curtain, which is just ridiculous, and like, yeah, plastic bottles and all kinds of things. I just love those moments of like her building the suit and hiding it under the bed and really trying to like, you don't know when she's going to get caught. Like, as the audience, it's fun to like watch to see, okay, he's going to find out at some point, but we
Yeah,
don't
it
know
has to.
when. Yeah, so I think that's kind of a fun aspect of it. I think the movie really picks up for me in the second half, to be honest. I like the first half, but it moves a little slow. I think the second chunk is definitely where it kind of shines a lot more as far as like the thriller elements.
I agree. I think the first half, a lot of it is just driven from poor communication. Like, if he just sat her down and be
Hmm.
like, hey, this happened. Okay, this is why you're here. He keeps being like,
Right.
you should be happy that you're in here. It's like, yeah, but why? Like, why? Because,
Yeah,
like,
and
in her perspective, you kidnapped her. Like, easy.
exactly. Yeah, it's almost like Misery, where he's like, I saved you. I took care of you, but like really you caused this just because you take care of me after, but you're the reason I'm in this situation in the first
Exactly.
place. So yeah, it's interesting, but I like the way that her and Emmett like bond throughout this section and really like get to, figure out a plan together, and
Yeah.
him really like trying to kind of be her sidekick through getting this accomplished and being willing to like take the blame for things, because he knows that it's better if he gets, he feels like that Howard might believe him or like trust him more than her, which obviously isn't true. But yeah, and then he even says after he kills him, like, now it can just be us, like kind of how he intended. It's almost like that's what he wanted. So again, I don't know what this guy's intentions are, because he seems to want to
They're
have
not good.
young women alone with him in his bunker. Whether he thinks that there's something actually happening outside that's going to hurt them, it's sort of like a side plot. That's sort of
Yeah.
like, we don't know how long he's been doing this. Or if he even actually has a daughter, like it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to believe with this guy. So John Goodman's very good at portraying this character where it's like you want to almost have empathy for him in certain aspects, but like you also despise him because he's had a lot of poor actions. And you obviously don't trust him because he's willing to just burn somebody in a bucket of acid, which is horrific.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's definitely pretty violent at this turning point that you just left off at.
Yeah, it's nuts. So Michelle finishes the suit and tries to make her escape. Howard catches her, but she pushes the vat of acid towards him, causing him to slip and fall face first into it, which is so fucked up. She
Yeah.
climbs over and heads towards the exit. The acid eats through an electrical wire and starts a fire. Howard follows Michelle, and she pushes a shelf onto him. She climbs through the vents and to head through the filtration system. Howard stabs through the vent with a knife. He grabs Michelle's ankle as she makes it to the end, but she slams his hand hard enough for it to rip off, which is fucked. The fire starts spreading throughout the bunker. Michelle puts a suit and gas mask on and prepares to head to the outside. On the surface, the sun is shining and everything is calm. She sees Howard's truck and goes over to it, and she accidentally rips her homemade hazard suit and freaks out and quickly repairs it with duct tape that she brought. But then she hears and sees birds overhead, so she takes the mask off and breathes in the fresh air because she knows that if animals are alive, she's fine. She stands on top of Howard's truck to view her surroundings and spots what she thinks is a helicopter in the distance. Suddenly, the bunker explodes, attracting the attention of the craft. As it approaches, Michelle realizes it's really just a massive alien hovercraft, and it drops something into the ground and then veers off. I love this when she goes, "Oh, come on!" Like she's like, "I've gone through so much."
Mm-hmm.
Michelle jumps off the truck and frantically tries to find her keys, but finds none. She then remembers the car. That's what the woman came in, and runs towards it. And she she tries to get into the car, but sets off the alarm, and the lights start flashing. The noises and the lights attract an alien creature on the ground. So Michelle runs to the wooden shed there to hide. She peers out to see the alien creature lifting the car. It then starts attacking the shed. And Michelle tries to find the keys to the car from the dead woman that is in the wooden shed. Just as she finds the keys, the alien starts to poke its head through the flap of the barn. Michelle points the keys towards the car and turns off the alarm. The alien goes back out of the barn. Thank God. Last second. Yay. She then crawls out of the flap door itself and starts to run to the nearby farmhouse, chased by the alien creature. And she starts to yell, be like, help, help. Obviously, this is Howard's house. Like, who's that? It doesn't matter. Just as she nears the front door, the giant alien craft appears behind it. This is a sick shot. And the ground creature runs away. The craft slowly rises and moves towards Michelle, spreading a toxic green gas, which is probably what the woman touched. Michelle runs back to the truck and puts the mask on again. The alien craft goes near her and picks up the truck, bringing it closer to the mouth. Michelle grabs a magazine, lighter, and a whiskey bottle she finds in the truck to make a makeshift Molotov cocktail. She lights it, seizes the opportunity, throws into the creature's mouth. It explodes and drops the truck, which falls crashing into the ground. Michelle, still alive, runs back to the car with the keys. She gets in, starts it, drives down the road. She hits Howard's mailbox, which has the address 10 Cloverfield Lane on it. Michelle turns on the radio and hears that quote, "We've retaken the southern seaboard." The announcer says that anybody seeking refuge from the alien attacks may head to Baton Rouge, but anyone with combat and medical expertise is needed in Houston. Michelle reaches the sign that directs people straight to the Baton Rouge or left to Houston. She makes the choice to go left. She drives there. A thunderclap shows a bigger alien hovercraft hiding in the clouds, and that is 10 Cloverfield Lane. Ash, what do you think of 10 Cloverfield Lane? Give me a score.
Yeah, I think it's a really fun movie. I think it's like a really well-paced thriller that has obviously like the sci-fi elements that really come out at the end. Great, fun performances from all the main actors. I will say with like the last part we just went over, I like the like part where they're sort of battling it out, like to see if she's going to get out of the house and he's kind of fighting back. I enjoyed those scenes. I think where I'm not sure how I feel is when she gets out. Like, I'm not upset about the way they chose to go with it. Obviously, they had to tie in the sci-fi element somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm just not
the
sure
alien
if
dog was weird.
yeah, I don't know if I loved the like look or like the way they did the alien stuff nearly as much as something like Cloverfield or other sci-fi movies. I also don't know how like I feel about like we have this whole like hour and a half of kind of leaning towards like Howard's a creep and like we shouldn't trust him, but then he was technically right, so she should have stayed in there. But I don't know, they build it like he's like this horrible guy, which he probably is, but he also has these like good intentions of trying to keep them from dying out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which he was correct. So then it's like, what does that say if he actually was correct? But then he just like he just like dies in there and burns alive, and I don't know if I love the way that like they finalized the story arc there with like her and him, just personally. And then I also just feel like the sci-fi stuff, because of the way they chose to do it, kind of just is plopped in at the end. And I didn't love it. I like the suit. I like how she kind of discovers like, can I take it off? Can I not? What's really going on here? I like all that. But like the last 10 minutes, they're not my favorite. And that's where this kind of falls off for me a little bit in comparison to something like Cloverfield. But I still think it's really fun. I gave it 3.5 stars, and I think it's definitely worth the watch. So I'm glad we did this, and it was fun to revisit. But yeah, I'm just not sure they stuck the landing for me with like the last half hour.
I like that. Yeah, I love this movie until she gets out. I don't
Yeah.
love the fucking alien dog at all. I love the look of the ship, but it should have just, if it was literally she got out and she looked at the house and the alien ship went above it and that ended, awesome. Like,
Yeah.
so sick. But like, yeah, like, I agree with you. Like, I thought that it didn't really fully stick the landing, but hey, for like a little spin-off side story, I thought it was pretty damn good.
Totally.
I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was, I enjoyed it just like a touch more. But I think that everything you said makes total sense. So next week, please watch Reservoir Dogs. Can't wait to rewatch
Ooh,
that.
can't
That'll be
wait.
fun. But until then, oh, my voice is starting to go. Until then, I'm going to a little guess the movies. Ash, I've got 2 movies in front of me. I've made them a touch harder because you keep slamming these home.
Just last week.
Yeah, they're not crazy hard. Don't worry. They're not like they're 2 movies that you, yeah. they're two good movies. Oh, they're two good picked movies. That's all I'll say. So Ash, you can guess how many times you want. It's probably going to be around 21, but I think you'll get it before then anyway. So the first
Okay, I was
film,
just trying
Ash.
to pull up my last time I had my list of like the questions I asked.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, let's see. Is it part of a franchise?
Franchises four or more?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Let's see. Is it an action film?
I would not describe it as an action film, no.
Is it an Oscar nominated film?
Oh, like,
Actually, let me change this. Is it an Oscar winning film?
I don't think so, no.
Okay,
I feel
just
like
in
I
case
know
that would
that.
narrow it down more. I wouldn't be able to know every single thing nominated for the last God knows how long.
One sec, I'm just looking. Maybe in like. No, didn't get nominated for Oscars.
Okay. Is this a film that I like more than you or you like more than me?
Good
I know
question.
it's kind of two questions, but it kind of is
No, no,
the same
I
question.
can work with that. I know my score. Let me see your score. Where are you, Ash? Oh, there you are. I like it more.
Okay. Have we discussed it on the pod?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. Was this movie released before 2000?
No.
Okay. So does that mean it could be 2000 or to
This
present or
movie was released
2001 to
between
present?
2001 and today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I just want to be clear on
No,
that.
that's good.
All right. Let's see. How do I want to narrow this down? Is it a comedy?
I would. There's two genres on
Okay.
Letterboxd. Comedy's number one.
Is romance the other genre?
No.
Is
I think
drama the other? Oh,
no. I think there's romantic elements, but it's not the other. Like when you know what it is, you'll see like exactly what the.
so that means it's not like a true rom-com. Okay. Harry likes it more than me. But I give this still like 4 stars or more.
No.
I don't.
You enjoy it. I don't think you loved it.
Oh, okay. But Harry loves it probably.
I wouldn't say I
Interesting.
wouldn't say I love it. I just like it a little
Okay.
bit more. It's the difference of 1 star between you and me. It's like not great.
Okay.
I don't like it.
I'm trying to think what part of the 2000 to present I want to stick with here. Is it from the last decade? Like
Yes.
2000 what?
Yes.
Yes? So like 2016 to present.
Yeah.
Okay. It's tough because I feel like I know movies that I really love actually more. Like the stuff that's like 4.5, 5 stars, more than I would like a
Honestly,
three
I
and a
picked
half
this
or
on
something.
your list. I didn't look at what you scored it. I thought you would have loved this movie, to be honest.
Okay. I am like a little bit unsure of where to go because I have like the general decade, I have the general genre, and
Try
I'm
and go
not
through different other genres. Forget that you've
okay.
said comedy now, and
Okay.
then go to other genres. Because if you go to comedy, you're gonna try and think of like how it ties in. Just forget comedy and go
Yeah,
to
I mean,
other
I feel
genres.
like if there's comedy elements, I just feel like it's usually not like a thriller or like I guess it could be a horror comedy with romance elements, but that just
Oh,
seems unlikely.
there's like
Um,
there's horror elements, but I wouldn't put it in one of the genres.
it could have sci-fi elements.
What's the
Does it
other?
have sci-fi
Oh,
elements?
sci-fi. What's the other one though?
I know I'm missing one.
People always put sci-fi with another genre. Sci-fi slash.
Um,
Okay, let's go.
I'm blanking.
Try and get the year down.
You
Oh,
you
wait.
made it harder, so congrats. I'm thinking it's between like 2016 and 2020.
No.
So it's not. It's between 2021 and present.
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting because I feel like that's actually when I started like watching more movies. So I'm like a little bit unsure. Does this star like is the lead actor or actress like somebody pretty popular, like pretty
Yeah.
famous? Okay. I mean, I don't know what you mean by like sci-fi slash like science fiction slash like dystopian or like slash like is it like just is it
Think of book genres when you go
like
to.
fantasy? Okay, so like a fantasy with comedy and romantic elements.
Yeah.
What fantasy book or movie, not book, movie came out in the last 5 years?
Maybe ask if it's like a long
You just
way.
give me
Like
what?
it's a sequel to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's part of a trilogy.
It's not part of a trilogy.
Okay, so it's a sequel to
Yep.
original movie.
Yep.
A sequel that came out after 2021 that's related to. God, I literally have no ideas right now. Me not loving it is really throwing me off because I feel like movies in like that 3.5 star range are so forgettable sometimes that I don't even.
This is a big movie that came out. I think you would have been really looking forward to it, and it probably let you down. Because I think you loved the first one. Let me check if you loved the first one.
It's not animated, right?
No. There's some stop motion animation in it, but it's not fully animated, no. Lots of makeup.
A sequel with lots
You
of makeup.
loved the first one. You gave the first one 5 stars.
Oh my God, I am blanking so hard right
It's a
now.
legacy sequel of a movie that you gave 5 stars.
Holy shit, with stop motion animation?
That's like got a little bit of
Jesus.
horror in it. Is like, but it's
Jesus.
hilarious. Like a little bit of fantasy esque. But you're thinking if fantasy, don't think of like Dungeons and Dragons. Like you'll understand when you know it.
I genuinely have no idea.
Um,
Could not tell you.
it includes. Here's a clue. It includes the late great Catherine O'Hara.
Oh, Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't like the new one.
yeah. It's see how I mean it's so hard to like get to that
That's
point in terms of
tough.
yeah,
That's really tough. I honestly completely forgot about the movie. So that came out in what, 2024?
yep,
Okay.
yeah. Well done, well done.
That's a good one. I applaud you because I really
I thought you would have
had
loved that.
no.
That's why I picked that up. I'm like, but I knew that you loved Beetlejuice. I'm like,
I remember that was the last movie I saw before my surgery in September 2024, and I was so disappointed because I thought it was kind of a lame
it was,
legacy sequel. Catherine O'Hara was great though, and so was Michael Keaton.
it
So
was. I got
wow,
one more
sorry
for
that
you.
took forever.
No, no, no. This is the fun of the game. I got one more for you.
Okay,
Let me
I
get
feel like the decade is helping get that out of the way. So
get
is it
the
after
decade done.
2000 again?
After 2000. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Um, is this either a sequel or a final movie of a trilogy?
No. Pretty sure it's standalone.
Cool.
It is standalone. Yes.
All right. Is it? Does it have like a 3.5? No, let me change that. Does it have like a 3.8 or higher average on Letterboxd?
Yes.
Okay.
So what did you give it? Excuse me.
Okay.
How did you give it? Yes. You gave it higher than 3.8.
Cool. Did it come out in the last 5 years?
No.
Okay. So 2001 to 2020. Is it an international film?
No.
Just figured I've never asked that. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I have to get the genre. I feel like I have to at least get the general genre down. Is it horror at all?
There's horror aspects, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say it's the main one. But like people looking
Okay.
at this film after you've seen it, you're like, this is actually scary.
So is it like mystery thriller?
No, well, there's
Okay.
like a mystery to it because it's a horror film, but I wouldn't say that's part of the genres. No.
Is it a movie that we both love a lot?
Yeah, I love Half a Star More, but
So that means I probably give it 4 and you give it 4.5, because unless I give it 4.5 and you give it 5, that is also possible.
it is possible.
It's not
Anything's
what I was
possible.
thinking. I was thinking Hereditary, but I give that 5 stars, so it's obviously not that.
Nah, you think not as horror as Hereditary. Think of a different like genre. Go through other genres as well.
When I think of horror, if it's scary, all I can think of is like thriller, mystery, or like sci-fi. I don't know. There's not like other genres of
I'll let you
horror.
keep going. I've got a
Maybe
question that
like
will complete.
monster?
I've got a question
Like a
that will
monster?
be. No, it's not monster. I've
Oh,
got a question that could easily open this up for you.
what is it? A different question, you said?
Yeah, I'm trying to like guide you to the question without telling you the question.
Am I focused too much on the genre? What else? I don't want to ask about, I mean, I already basically asked. It's not, it's a standalone movie. I have the general.
I think your horror is like movies that only adults can watch. You know, like you're thinking of like that, like will fuck you up horror. And this
Okay,
just
so
has
it might just be more like spooky.
yes,
Okay. Not like R-rated.
not R-rated.
Is it from between 2010 and 2020?
No.
Okay, so it's early 2000s.
Yeah, it's released between the years 2001 and 2009.
Interesting. Okay. Hopefully, I've actually watched it recently and didn't just log it with a score. Sometimes I completely forget about those
Let's
movies.
see.
Was this done by like an actual like big director?
Um,
Like like a name that's recognized?
yeah, I wouldn't say as big as like Nolan or anything like that, but it's
Okay.
like I'll say the director, and you would probably know it.
So it's the
He's
spooky
he's
movies.
a
That
director that's
means
big in his craft, in his specific niche.
specific nation. It's a him. You just said he.
They. You last watched this in 2022.
Okay. And it's like a regular like live action film.
No,
Okay.
there you go. That's what I was
Animated
get to.
spooky
That's
from
what
the
I wanted
early
to guide you to.
2000s.
Go.
Okay, okay.
Let's go,
Okay.
Ash. Let's go.
Is this
Let's go.
is this James and the Giant Peach
No,
or like
you're
something
on.
Henry Selick? It's
Yes,
Henry
it's Henry
Selick.
Selick.
Okay.
Yep.
What did I watch in? Was it? It's not Coraline
It's
because that
Coraline.
came. It is Coraline.
Yes. Well done.
When was that made?
2009.
Okay, I didn't watch it when it came out, so I actually didn't know the years. That kind of made it trickier
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me.
I was gonna say like if you didn't get close, I would have read your letterbox reviews. Is this really how parents treat their children? I love stop motion animation. It's unmatched, cute little story, but the animation really sold it for me.
I absolutely love Henry Selick's animation. So okay, all right, love
Yeah,
it.
fuck yeah. Nice. Well done,
Much
Ash.
worse this time than last week.
Hey, yeah, you got to Coraline though.
I was just on fire last week. I don't know what was
I,
going
I was
on.
trying to guide you to saying like, is it live action or is it animated? And you're like, this is live action, right? And I was like,
I don't know why I just assumed it was, but I
that's
should
not
have
because
known
you
when you
think of
said
horror
spooky.
though. But you think of
Yeah,
horror and you straight away think of like Hereditary and stuff like that. So that's why I was trying to guide you away from that.
absolutely.
Yeah, well
Nice
done.
work.
GG's. But yeah, until next time, please watch. What are we doing? Not Dog Day Afternoon.
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs. But until next time, I'm Harry. That's Ash. Love Death Movies. We'll see you at the movies.